Also called the Battle of Poitiers, the Battle of Tours is a turning point in the history of Western Europe. Here, Charles Martel, the Frankish leader, and the Umayyad Caliphate, commanded by Abdul Rahman al-Ghafiqi, clash in what amounts to a civilizational, religious, historical, and existential battle of epic proportions. The Franks win, the advance of Islam into Europe is halted. But what if? What if the Franks lost the battle in 732, and let's not call it the Muslim world, just the world? The impact of that result would have been huge. It would have redesigned the cultural, religious, and geopolitical setup of Europe, as well as the rest of the world. Let's think of a world where that may have come to pass and really look at what the results may have been. Once they had defeated the Franks, Muslim forces would have expanded their foothold in Europe. Without a unified Frankish front to stop them, the Umayyad Caliphate would have easily conquered Gaul and continued into Western Europe. Almost as soon as these conquests began, Islamization of vast territories would have begun to follow. Cities and regions would have fallen under Muslim rule, bringing with them the culture, law, and religion of Islam. Once under Muslim control, major urban centers would have been dotted with mosques, and Islamic governance structures would have become part and parcel of local politics and law. The conquered territories would have seen their populations undergo a change. People from the heartlands of the Caliphate would have gone there. Not just soldiers and administrators, but also settlers. They would have mixed with the native people, and over time the character of these populations would have become different. Some of the original inhabitants would have been forced or pressured into converting to the religion of the newcomers. Some, no doubt, would have gone over willingly. The cultural interchange between Europe and the Islamic world could have blossomed in a different timeline. Islamic scientists, artists, and scholars would have carried their abilities to the mainland, spreading learning from celebrations that included astronomy, mathematics, medication, and thought. Nonetheless, the Western dialects, practices, and ancestries could have been imposed on and interweaved with Islamic individuals. This condition might have resulted in a multicultural society. If Islam had spread to Europe, it too would have had an impact on the geopolitics of the time. The Muslim territories took control of the balance of power in the Mediterranean and the south. This expanded peninsula would have been dangerous against the Byzantine emperor, who was already shaken by domestic chaos and against external dangers. According to the expansion of the Western and Eastern or the Abbasid Caliphate, the Byzantine emperor would have faced the threat of seeing his territories dissolve. Had the Franks lost the Battle of Tours, the repercussions would have gone far beyond Europe's confines. Islam's incursion in the West might have steered the course of history so off its present course as to have left nobody knows what would exist in the Middle East, North Africa, and possibly Asia. The caliph's power would have reached out far beyond its natural boundaries, kicking off an Islamic empire enveloping entire continents. Nevertheless, difficulties and dissensions would have naturally occurred inside this extensive empire. The caliphate would have faced administrative challenges because of the multiplicity of cultures, languages, and religions within its frontiers. The pluralism, clashing ideologies, and territorial issues in the newly incorporated lands would have challenged the community's unity. As a result, the lands might have turned into battlefields, inflicting heavy casualties and fragmenting the domains.